Hello YouTube fam, how you doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim fam. Dude, I've been sitting back wondering whether I should throw the damn towel in or not. As far as for video games and comic books, I basically threw the damn towel in. Comic books, they are just a little too expensive. They got so many damn variants and all of that shit, man. And you just sitting there mad as hell because you like, shit is impossible to find. The covers that you actually like, they're expensive as hell. The secondary and third markets are just outrageous. You got comic book just came out. It's 30 damn dollars on the damn secondary market. And you like, look, I don't even want to pay that money. Dude, when it comes down to video games, man, retro gaming is just dead. Just being honest, retro gaming is dead. It's like you can stick a fork in that motherfucker. I'm serious, it is. You cannot find these games really at yard sales, garage sales, or thrift stores anymore. Goodwills or Salvation Armies, because you got so many people selling the games they find to like people who have buy lists and stuff like that, or they trading them into some of these big YouTubers and making videos out of it. And that's the situation that I see happening now. I wanted to get back into sports cards. Man, that shit there is just too expensive. And plus, the amount of cards you get in a pack is just not worth spending that amount of money on. It's just unrealistic, man. And, to me, the stars of the day are not like the stars of yesterday. John Morant, Luca, you know, Jason Tatum, Embiid. A lot of those cats to me are not like Kobe or LeBron or MJ, man. Just people that really, really changed the NBA. Changed the face of card collecting and shit like that. You look at it, man. Cards now are just arms and legs. They're behind glass cases. You don't know what to get. You're not even guaranteed to get a damn rookie in the rookie season card packs, man. You just turning your damn head. Then you go down to the Pokemon damn cards and you start wondering, like, when did Pokemon cards cost as much as currency, man? Pokemon cards are more valuable than the fucking currency we use. And that's crazy as hell. What really happened here, man? There's a major shift happening, man. And, there are so many people now using this as vehicles to make income, man. And it's just like, it's not fun anymore. If everybody's purchasing everything and they're just selling it, and you like, damn, you was right there to get it for like $5. Now this motherfucker selling it for $500. You trying to understand, you like, man, when did it get like this, man? Even with the Jordans, man, I had to take a step back, bro. Look, for the people who still collect Jordans, there's nothing, no shade from it coming from me. It's just me looking at that situation like, man, I can't continue to do this. You just changing the color of the shoes. It's basically what, 1 through 13 that you really focused on, 1 through 15 or something. I just say that 1 through 15 probably that you focused on. Anything after that, you can't even tell me if anybody remember any of those Jordans. And do anybody remember the OG colors? Most likely not. Dude, I'm looking at it like, look, I'm tired, it's just getting frustrating. Then you go again on eBay. Shit, I remember back in the day when Jordans first came out and things like that, they were like $99. We used to go to like the little shopping areas, man, and they have them on racks and stuff. The shoe wrapped in plastic, because just in case, that might be the shoe you need, and they had the shoes, man. They had the Jordans, man. End up getting them, man, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, man, I'm one of the cool kids. And, man, it was something for a while until it wasn't. Dude, like, after the status shit wore down, I started realizing the shoe wasn't even comfortable. To me. Because, again, we all different. And, again, J's may work for you. I could wear them for a short period of time, man. That's about it. After that, man, I be over here like, man, I need something else. This ain't it. Because most of the time, it ain't it. Man, like I said, man, I'm still having a hard time with the Funko Pops and letting them go, man. And I'm looking at the fact they're still bringing out some good Funko Pops, but they just got so many that it oversaturated the entire market, man. At whereas it just had me feeling like I can never win with this situation, man. Even if I'm just picking the ones I like, there's so many. And they're not stopping. They create ones that damn near are exclusives. Then go ahead and create the same damn pop like a month later. And I'm like, dude, you're really undermining every damn thing that you're doing here. It's the same with the action figures, man. You know, I was collecting Transformers a long time ago. Just Transformers, man. I had got all the damn Transformers, literally all of them. And after that, I got bored. I ended up getting G.I. Joe Ra, a real American hero. Got tired of that after I got all the shit in the particular toy line. Because at the particular time when I was doing it, it wasn't super duper expensive. You know, buying video games at the time wasn't expensive. Buying consoles from overseas wasn't that bad. I was buying the FM Towns Marty. I was buying the PC FX. I was buying the Amiga CD 32, the Atari Jaguar, the Bandai Pippin, the Neo Geo, the Neo Geo CD, the Neo Geo CDZ. Dude, I was buying all this shit, you know, and I was just like, man, you know, I was doing it, man, and that's the way I felt. I'm doing it Super Famicom. I was buying all this shit. Why? If I had a US version, I buy a Japanese version so I could play the games from overseas. Simple. I have a converter and every damn thing, and I'm good. But, you know, the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, or for the most part don't seem to care enough about, is that, you know, from time to time, this shit weighs on you. It really weighs on you, man. It's a lot of stuff. And I want to be honest, man, collecting can be overwhelming. Just like with the cologne, man, I had to give it a break for a minute. I got so much of cologne, man, that I can't even tell you. You know, I got rotations of stuff that I wear. I just pick out something random and put it on. But you got to be careful of all those damn darker color colognes. If they yellow and darker in color, don't wear it during the summer, man, because it'll overpower you, probably choke you to death. You want something light, clear. You know, that's the thing that I learned with cologne, man. You could get a lot of it if you really know what you're doing. And dude, when I started everything, the market was there. I look at the stuff that I collect now and I'm looking around and I'm just like, damn, bro, it's just like you got too much. You know, you ever feel overwhelmed? Dude, sometimes I do. People say, well, sell some of your stuff, man, but you know what? Selling it, most of the time you ain't gonna get nothing for it. See, everybody want to lowball on you. And you know, you can have an item over here worth $1,000 damn dollars. Somebody trying to get it for $5. Man, but see, it got dirt on it. It's dusty. You like, man, I was on eBay trying to sell some shit many years ago. And the guy said, ooh, that's dirty. It wasn't even dirty. It was clean. Oh, but the game's in there because they were GameCube games. It was a GameCube case, a hard clamshell case. And I was trying to sell it, and the guy was like, oh, I could get all these games, you know, for just about nothing. And I said, oh, just go ahead and do that from somebody else. Talk to you later, man. Just, you know, and I'm like, man, I'm not trying to have that. You trying to lowball me to get something that you know is valuable. Dude, if you want to lowball somebody else, man. This is why I say collecting at times can suck, because the community, for the most part, is toxic as shit. People can't stand to see you with nothing. You know, they see you with stuff and they say, yeah, he probably stole all of it. You know, something like some stupid shit. Not realizing that you got a job and you got receipts for all the shit you paid for. But see, no, that's just too much. You know, like I say, when people out here, it's just sometimes you get tired. You get tired of all those naysayers and all those people that don't understand what the hell it is that you're doing. You're building, and they don't want to build. You know, like I said, shit is not super duper expensive. Man, you can find things that you want, things that you like, for reasonable prices. Everybody wants something that costs an arm and a leg and, you know, complain about it later. I'm just going to complain about it now. Dude, don't complain about it. Get what it is that you're looking for and move on, bro. You don't owe nobody nothing. Nobody owe me a damn thing, bro. That's one thing I noticed. Nobody owe me nothing. People gonna continue to live. People gonna continue to live their life. They're gonna continue to be happy with what they're doing, man. A lot of people don't give a damn about me, and I don't blame them. You know, you got a lot to worry about, on your own end. Why the hell you worried about me? It'll be all right, and that's the way I look at it. Man, collecting is hard. Accessories, man. There's so many different, like helmets and swords and shields, and you get overwhelmed with all that shit. You just like, damn, like after a while, you be like, man, I want to redo shit. I bought totes over there. I just need to put all the shit that's just sitting here in totes, bro. But I'm like, man, I don't even have the energy to do that. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand, man. You could just be tired. You got so much going on, and I'm like, man, I used to read the books as soon as I get them. I love my comic books. I read them. I like the old school ones, man, because the new school books, man, a lot of those are not even worth any damn thing. The stories are toxic as hell. They're not even heroes no more. Majority of the book talking about relationships and all that, and how they lost kids and stuff. I'm like, man, I know X-Men, X Factor, all of them did that. They did that with Nathan Summers. They did that, where they had to send him in the future because he was attacked by, who gave him the transmode virus? The Technocky and transmode virus, I think it was, or he was infected with something and was sent into the future. Man, it was just too much. I said, damn, they doing way too much. Then you got Scott Summers and Havoc, his brother, fighting over Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, and I'm like, she's still in love with Scott and just basically simping Havoc. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, this is why when you read shit and you look at this stuff, you be like, man, it's too much. As a kid, I didn't realize I was reading adult material, bro. It was just too real. Now I read it and I'm like, man, this was way beyond my time at that time, bro. This is what we should do. We should sit back and talk more and more, man. And talk about how this shit is overwhelming, man. You sit back and you look at everything that you got. Honestly, if I had a space even bigger, I found a way to collect on all of that. Just think about it. If you had like 1,000 square foot space just for your collection, you had shelving units in place, you had giant TVs for the area, you had like a center console in the middle of the floor where you could just do some of your stuff, you got a desk off in the corner, man, you still run out of room in that room. Why? Because you think you'll never run out of room. You'll have a video game nook area. You have like your action figures. You have your shoes in another corner, man. You just be doing stuff. And like I said, it wouldn't be bad, but it's coming to the point where it's just, you sit there and it's just overwhelming, man. It's just like sometimes when I'm wanting to put on some cologne, I don't know what to put on. Sometimes, when I want to open the toys and do a video on them, I'm like, do I really want to do the video, dude? It's like a lot, and it's not me talking like I'm unappreciative of being able to buy this stuff or getting this stuff. It's just sometimes, dude, you could be overwhelmed. Collecting is a hard situation, bro, that a lot of people don't understand. Either you find stuff or you don't find stuff. And like I say, you got to be okay with that for a while. Sometimes you don't find stuff for months. And you just sitting there and people are like, damn, ain't this a toy channel? I don't see no toys. But then you see enough of toys and you be like, man, see, he collect too much. Like I said, there's never a good mix for any damn body, fam. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Peace out.